Geauga Historical Society Century Village, or Lake Farm Park and Outhouse. A genuine three-holer, in fact, no doubt one of the last of its kind. It stood next to the lodge against Swine Creek Reservation, which housed the social gatherings in pre-park days when this facility was part of the Chagrin Valley Hunt Club. Now the little shack out back is history gone for good. As a victim of progress, it's doubtful anyone will object to the demolition of this outmoded commode, or that it was not preserved for posteriors, or rather, posterity. Spartan in design, it had no stalls, no sink, just a bench with 3 holes along one wall. Its status as a men's or women's room changed with each occupant, who hopefully remembered to bolt the door behind them. Although few people will miss the old latrine, some of the park's wildlife probably will. This building could have qualified as Geauga Park District's first nature center long before the Donald W. Myers Center, never mind the Westwoods Nature Center, was built. Spider webs adorn the corners, and wasp nests of every kind, paper and mud, decorated walls inside and out. Mice routinely shred the toilet paper for nests built in the corners of the bench. A startled privy patron once found a rat snake lounging along the upper wall. These sorts of encounters prompted a mischievous suggestion from guess who, to post a sign above the entrance warning those seeking relief to look before you leak. Or who knew what might have been lurking overhead, alongside, or underneath. Well, the old house was replaced by an updated wheelchair-accessible version, which even has separate facilities for both genders. Designed with better ventilation, it may not have smelled as bad, but the seats would still be cold in winter to remind us of the good old days. So, okay. How do we get that past the director and all that?
John O'Meara.
Okay, so want to give some examples of the kind of programming that we did throughout the year, kind of an annual cycle of programming. The basis of the Naturalist Department's programming is nature's calendar of events, the plant and animal happenings that occur throughout the year. Those who pay attention to this study of these annual events is called phenology. So phenology was the basis of our programming by and large, not exclusively, but we've always felt that the best things we could introduce people to help them appreciate our natural heritage here are these special things that go on once a year. And in recent years, we've notated that in, as they say we, like I'm still working there, they still have, they note as nature's not to be missed. Those things that you just can't go out any time of the year, any time and see them, that they only happen here and there, and so forth. So, winter, a lot of indoor programming, of course, but, in addition to snowshoeing and cross-country skiing, there we had programs that were centered on wildlife science or wildlife detective training, it's, when you have snow on the ground and you come upon these animal tracks, it's like you opened up a book and can read what happened there when you weren't around. Yeah, it's like nature's, calligraphy right there to be read. And not only who was there, but what are they doing? In this case here at Elton Russell Park, this was some otters romping on the ice on the river, and belly sliding. You can see the marks there and scampering around. Now the other thing that we capitalized on now, Geauga Park, or Geauga County, especially in the Amish community of Middlefield, Parkman area, with this Amish style of farming that leaves fields fallow, they attract this open country annually attracts birds from the tundra, for which we are south for the winter. And I'm talking about birds like the horned lark that you see pictured there in the lower left-hand corner, and sometimes snow buntings and Lapland longspurs. And what draws them is Well, the Amish, when they spread manure on the fields, these birds glean the grain out of that. So I often, kind of joke that an Amish bird feeder is a manure spreader. Well, the other attraction for birders, and this has become a greater notoriety, I think, too, is Hayes Road and a couple other roads down in the Amish community. Well, Hayes Road we nicknamed Hawk Alley. And it's a great place to see these northern birds of prey, like as pictured here, the rough-legged hawks and all their tremendous variety of plumages, or harriers, formerly called the marsh hawks, and even sometimes, rarely, short-eared owls, all of which we've had this winter. So we would, for several years, we held what we call our winter Hawk Watch wagon ride. And we would take the old, this wagon that we used to use, we used to have a team of horses, and we still get, have this, do wagon rides, horse-drawn wagon rides. But we used to hitch this up to a tractor or to a pickup truck and take it out of the park and up Hayes Road. And internally referred to it as the hell freezes over wagon ride. Because people had to be bundled up in blankets. I mean, it was cold, wicked cold out there. But, well, these birds always put on a great show for us this winter morning. Well, when you come up out of the park, you get up to Route 87. Now, Route 87, you look to the east and there's a rise. So cars come over there, and they're right on top of you. So we would have the rangers spot us, just kind of slow traffic down so we could get that wagon across the road. Well, one year, we were parked there, waiting to cross 87, and there's Applewood Apartments there. And this woman just backed her car right into the pickup truck. And in that split second, I could see people were kind of jarred on the wagon, but nobody fell off. But I had disappeared. Everybody's like, "Where's Dan?" Yeah, I did this involuntary disappearing act where, I was, well, here you go. I was standing at the head of the wagon facing the audience, facing the people, the passengers there, and I got knocked over, and I was hanging by my knees over the front edge of the wagon, and with my toes fortunately caught a hold there, and it kept me from falling out. Luckily my head didn't hit the tongue of the wagon. Might have knocked some sense into me, but anyway, that was it for that. Oh no, the wagon stays in the park from now on. Well, I didn't argue with that. Of course, since then we've replaced it with a wonderful 15-passenger van that works much better. So, yeah. Now we're about this time of the year, maple sugaring, and since the early 1980s, mid-1980s, Geauga Park District had a sugar house and have been displaying and demonstrating, particularly at the Saps Rising Sundays. Next week is the first one. Yeah. And maple sugaring, the history of maple sugaring from literally prehistoric Native American boil sap with fire-heated rocks and hollow log up to modern sugar house and modern evaporator equipment and so forth, and everything in between. And it's been a very popular program, but for the thousands of people that get to Burton for pancakes, we got hundreds, 4 miles away. Could we just get more people there and see this? So always urge people, go to a pancake breakfast anywhere in Geauga County and Marks. They're all over the place. They're all good. They're all real good. And then come on out, find out how the history of maple sugaring at Swine Creek Reservation. Yeah, many years I was carving the old-fashioned early 1800s spiles from sumac branches there. You had a hollow, spongy center. You ream out and carve it, so it tap into a tree and drip into a bucket. So a lot of those spiles I'd hand to the kids, and they show up at show and tell at school. And one thing we really distinguished ourselves with, and Judy back there, she was a big part of all this maple sugaring program, but was programming we did for little kids. We took the big buckets off the trees and put little buckets on there. and the kids would empty, and we'd have a sled with a bucket or some receptacle tied to it, and the kids would empty the sap into that. And we tried to make as much of the maple sugaring process hands-on or interactive with the kids. We put up some bowls of tree trunks in the ground, and they tried an old auger or a bracing bit, and even a battery-powered drill. And for tapping trees, we put the shoulder yoke on them with the big gathering pins. Say, now look, kid, if